Alright guys, we just got here with Dangerous Dave's new Fiat, and look, it's brand new, so we literally just picked this up 2 days ago. Have a look at the kilometres on this beast. It's literally lower than a politician's moral values. Look at those kilometres, man. But, speaking of things being low, there's only one issue with the car. And again, this is not my car, this is Dave's car. Look at that. That shoe goes in there like it's just like a sausage in a hallway, you know? So we're hoping to get that sorted out and get some beastly wide wheels on it, as well as some mud flaps. And I think, I've had a quick look on YouTube, and I think we're the first one to drop a brand new this year Fiat. So enjoy and watch. Hopefully you're probably watching this in 2032 when these are cheap. Alright, so our first step will just be removing these center caps. Easy enough job, done with a rag and a screwdriver. Then just cracking the nuts and jacking up the car, then putting it on jack stands. Making sure the car is level best you can, so you need to be able to select the same spot on the opposite of the side of the car to put the jack stand on as you did the first side. And then just making sure to lower everything very slowly, so if something does go wrong you can kind of jack it back up and fix it. Now you're all good to remove the rest of the wheels, because if you did this in the first place the car would have just fell over. We're going to test fit these new rims up, and then after we've done that and nothing will hit, we just remove those centering pins and install the hub centering rings. Now that we've test fitted these rims and they're not going to go all Mike Tyson on the frame of the car, we're going to just take them off, just so we can get to work on putting in the new springs. Hopefully these new wheels make the car more well-rounded. And now we know that we fit, we're just putting on some more rims, just test fitting, and some more hub centric rings. And yeah, just slapping those bad boys into place. Now the next step is actually pretty easy. So these rear springs just come off with one bolt. Once you do that and you relax the jack, they'll just flop out. These are the new bump stocks. Because if we use the standard bump stocks, there'll be no travel, because the new springs are about 60% of the height of the old ones. So you just need to have a little bit more travel. If they stop at the same place, yeah, you'd be having a pretty bumpy ride. And yeah, there's the new delicious red springs going in, and I can confirm these make the car at least 5% faster just based on the fact that they're red. Now it's time to move to the front springs, who are a certified orphan to get off. So what you need is firstly the correct spanner. So before you do this job, get your ass to the auto store and get yourself a bent spanner. You know, the ones that go at a big angle, because what we ended up having to do, because we did this at night, is first you're going to have to remove this. We actually got the right side off without removing that panel there, but you're going to have to use, what we ended up using was a pair of vice grips put onto a socket, so we can still get the Allen key in the top of these. So you're going to need to get an Allen key in there. You're probably going to need some sort of torque bar on that Allen key, and yeah, you're going to need a lot of tension. Once you've got them off though, you can use your spring compressors. We messed about with replacing the stock bump stock for a bit, but once we realized they were the same size, we decided to go ahead with the, Dave decided to go ahead with the stock bump stock, as it's always going to fit better with the stock parts and the stock assembly. Okay, and then we just tighten everything back up. You want to make sure that's exceedingly tight. And yeah, as you can tell, using only the most professional tools, my hand with a socket, and just tightening up the control arm back up. So when you're going to take off the front, there's a little bit more involved. So there'll be a clip that needs to come off, as well as 3 bolts, 1 from the control arm and 2 from the suspension themselves. And there's like a little clip that comes on, and when you're taking off the just where those windscreen wipers go, you'll see that there's a couple of torque screws, and the rest will just unclip, sort of thing. But you've got to be really careful, as we did actually break a clip taking this out. All well and good, everything still works, but yeah, it's just something to be mindful of. And here we've almost got the one side done, and you just want to use that jack to your advantage when you're getting your hi-hats back on. Getting all of your other bolts nicely lined up and tightened up. And that's all 4 springs on. So in the morning it was off to the tyre shop, and to fit the mud flaps, and then hopefully we should have a pretty sweet looking lowered car. So what we did was we repurposed one of the bolt holes and reused that to kind of center our front mud flaps. So once we had that all bolted up, it was just a case of self-tapping these little screws in that I specially made for, and then just drilling a small pilot hole first, of course. And again, we're just using that bolt hole that was already existing to make sure they're in the same spot. Getting them nice and level by using a highly technical piece of equipment called a box, and then we just hand tighten those first wheels on. And these new wheels are looking so shiny, they've got a low catch rate. I mean, they're beautiful. So on the rears, we're just going to make our little cardboard template, and then once you've got your template going, you know how to cut your mud flaps so they fit, and just using another piece of highly technical equipment called a pair of kitchen scissors to get those nice and cut to the right sides. And then we're going to make sure they hold on tighter than an Amber Heard turd to a bed sheet, with about 4 or 5 self-tapping screws. And the great thing about these mud flaps is they are nice and cheap. They're about $50 for the set. So if anything happens to them, we can always just kind of replace them. And then it's just wheels and center caps on, and the jack's ready to come down after that. And yeah, last mud flap, and you can just tell Dave's getting super excited at this point. So, and this time we're using 2 cardboard boxes to measure up. Extremely technical. Hand tighten them, and then once they're on the ground, we're going to tighten them properly with a wheel tool. And we're going to jack it down. Jack stands out of the way. Lower the car down, and wow, have a look at that. Now it's time for the most important part. Oh, see, that's the thing, you want to go straight, chop sticker, or sideways, because that's more accurate, like, because you're hitting that.
Right. How about one off the bottom of the window?
Oh yeah, line it up with the bottom of the window. That's what I'm talking about. Done. Here we are going about 60 kilometers per hour with about 1,000 miles per hour in a freshly lowered 2022 Fiat 500C Pop, and it feels sexy. It feels rugged. Well, he just did a little bit of a maneuver. Didn't feel like it's going to flip over, which is good. Skirt. Dang it.
That's flat, eh?
Yeah.
But it's not too harsh either.
Yeah.
Let's see. Speed bumps are going to be gnarly on those mud flaps though.
Well, yeah, fine, it's too gnarly. You can always just kind of go like with a nice Dremel or something. Just
They'll just wiggle themselves in.
yeah. So, are you happy with your lowered car?
Yeah, that's sick. It doesn't feel like it's silly low though.
No, it still looks like a car. That's the main thing. Like it looks like almost like stock Beamer low, you know? I mean, it's handling these road bumps fine. Like my ass, you can feel you going over a bump, and you can't feel it in your spine. That's the main thing.
Speed bumps?
his maiden voyage over a speed bump. Dang it, Prado, we wanted the full thing there. Oh! Fucking better than stop.
Like, you can tell it's firm, but it's not harsh.
No, well, I was kind of bracing my ass for impacts. Oh, check out this car. Go forward a bit more. I've seen this guy around before.
Is that RAV4?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So he's held done it up to make it look like it's some sort of modern thing.
And it took so much of that body roll out too.
Yeah.
You know, before it was real loose.
There we have it, guys. Still comfortable. Hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe.